have in front of me are a variety of ingredients that we're going to use. Some chicken breasts and artichoke hearts. Some of you may or may not be familiar with artichoke hearts. You may have seen the full artichoke in the grocery store or on the cooking channel, and cooking that and disassembling it can be very time consuming, and a lot of the product goes to waste. So I prefer to purchase frozen artichoke hearts already prepared. In fact, most of the vegetables that I use in my business are frozen. There are some things where you need fresh, but if it's green beans or artichokes or squash, even some fruits out of season, I prefer frozen because of the nutritional content. When a vegetable or fruit is put on a truck and transported for long distances, oftentimes they aren't ripe at the time that they're picked, and they're either ripened artificially or handled, by any number of distribution networks. Whereas when a vegetable is frozen, it's picked, and within moments it's quick frozen and packaged. So you maintain much of the nutrition profile. In addition to the artichoke hearts, I have sun-dried tomatoes. And we like to cook with lots of color at Chef Anna. Some people believe that there's only two colors in a food group, and that's brown and white. And that's not true. You can have lots of flavor and excitement cooking the more color that you add. And the reason we like to use a lot of color, in addition to the fact that you eat with your eyes, most of the nutrients in food that your body needs to function and have beautiful skin and beautiful hair and beautiful teeth and smiles and figure are in the color. So green is good, but red is better. Orange, yellow, purple. My mother always used to say you had to have at least 3 colors on your plate. Eat the rainbow. So that's where most of the nutrients are. So let's get started here with a little bit of extra virgin olive oil. We use some fats at Chef Anna, but we use a minimum. That's about 1/2 teaspoon. We use good fats, mainly olive oil and canola oil. Your body needs some degree of fat in order to function properly. To that, while that oil is getting hot, I am going to mix my artichoke hearts. I'm going to chop those up real quick with sun-dried tomatoes. Sun-dried tomatoes are a wonderful way to get an explosion of flavor in your mouth without having to cook down a tomato. I also have some dried bell peppers. You can use fresh, but for this purpose it's easier. For me, I have a big bag of these at the shop that I use when I'm doing demonstrations, and they're very flavorful, concentrated in flavor. I'll add those. I also have some oregano, and I'm using dried. And when you're using dried spices, about 1/3 of the dried to whatever a recipe might call for fresh is appropriate. And you may not always have fresh oregano on hand, so dried is absolutely okay. In addition to that, we have some basil. And again, I'm using dried sweet basil. I'm going to chop that up very quickly. And these mini choppers are great. I've had this for 21 years, the age of my daughter. And my mother-in-law, my sweet Italian mother-in-law, bought it for me at the time when she saw I was wielding things like this and developing carpal tunnel syndrome.